I create spectacles in New York and all over the world. I'm lucky enough to work with my husband, Johnny Dynell.
Sun came out, everybody.
Not everyone would say that, but we're totally suited to produce these events together.
Flaming queens of all persuasions, welcome to the wickedest place in New York.
I grew up with a lot of theatrical people around me and a lot of flamboyant gay people, costumers. My mother was a fashion illustrator. I was very naturally in a crew with a lot of gay men, and I would go first to the clubs that they went to, which were incredible at the time. And I think that seeing all of that at a very young, impressionable age, it made me want to create something, not that, but I think it was the beginning of thinking of building these big spectacles and this kind of magic that happens when 1,000 people with a common purpose come together in a room. We had a nightclub together, a weekly nightclub called Jackie 60 for the entire decade of the 1990s, and it turned into 450 Tuesday nights. We ended up buying that venue, which we called Mother. Jackie 60 was really a club for people living experimental lifestyles, a lot of gender blurring. I think that you just start to get a feeling about things and very much create the night or the show or the experience that you want to go to. Whenever we're making the party that we want to go to or the show that we would like to see, then it has much more of a chance of working and touching other people than if you're trying to figure out what is a successful Tuesday night. Or, I mean, can you imagine if anyone had sat like brainstorming, I know we'll do a night every year devoted to Stevie Nicks, and people will, I mean, you know, you can't.
It's a celebration of all things Stevie Nicks.
About beads and feathers and tambourines. It's a celebration of gypsy.
Trailing sequins and magic.
A vagabond lifestyle. Magic.
Poetry, community.
Night of 1,000
Stevies. It's my first time in drag.
Really?
Yeah, first time in drag. I thought I could come out in a community where it was acceptable and it honored Stevie and encompassed everything that was good about rock and roll and dressing up and having a good time in New York City.
It's been an absolutely wonderful night, and thank you all for coming and watching and loving Stevie the way that I love Stevie.
Have a cigarette.
Hello, Nods. Hello, Stevie lovers. And welcome to the 21st Night of 1,000 Stevies.
Night of 1,000 Stevies is a 21-year-old annual tribute to everything Stevie Nicks, all of her music, most especially her costuming and fashion sense. It's not a karaoke show and it's not a contest, but on any given year, upwards of 50 to 75 people perform as her or performances inspired by her.
Now there you go again, you say you want your freedom.
A lot of the crowd gets dressed, so it's like a gigantic Stevie.
Just remember, someday, some night of 1,000 Stevies, I will be there in such a great disguise that you can on my routine until I walk on stage and begin to sing Edge of 17. I love that.
It is truly an enchanted evening with a capital E, and it's still that way. The time period that Johnny and I were lucky enough to be in our early 20s for, was really this golden age in New York. New York City was bankrupt, and there was a synthesis between music, fashion, nightclubs, art. It was so mixed up and it was so creative. In terms of the whole spectrum of New York City nightlife, I feel that we help to preserve and push forth to the future a certain idea about New York City clubbing as an uncommercial place where new art forms, new hybrids, and totally new kinds of performance are born. And I really feel that that has been my life's work.